Welcome back to Seablock. Today, we can see we've just finished electronics, so that means we need to get into that and get that started. However, just a brief note, we did get a couple of comments from last episode, basically saying, yeah, you can make landfill a lot easier using crushed stone. Yes, absolutely. I do that in the background, just so you know. Where I get the sand from is from crushed stone. The grass is the one that gets generated by mud, basically. You can generate both by mud, but you can't generate grass by crushed stone, unfortunately. But this box here, it just keeps filtering out the crushed stone, and then I can use that wherever I want to. In this case, there's also some more crushed stone around, I think. But, oh, there's some slag here, and we can convert that over into crushed stone without any problems. But, you know, I am filtering it out. I am using it. So you can see we've got 230 landfill here. And that's going to give us a bit more space, which is good because, well, we're going to need it for electronics, I suspect. So if you have a look in here, we need this electronic circuit, the green circuits. That lets us create the Algae Farm Mark IIs. And that means we need to go backwards through things. We need to get some basic electronic boards and some iron plates. Well, iron plates we already know we can get. Basic electronic boards, on the other hand, are just an upgrade from the previous basic circuit boards. They need to add some electronic components, which is tin. Good, we've already got that. It needs carbon, and we're sort of short on carbon. Okay, which we need the algae plants for, so around and around we go. But we also need solder, and solder, as I said, solder, not soda, if you're American. Sorry, there is an L in it. I have to say it that way. Yeah, anyway, solder needs resin and solder plate. And resin and solder plate, we have to think of lead and tin. So we're able to get lead and tin from, as we previously said, the mineral sludge. We haven't looked at resin yet, but I think that's going to come from a tree farm of some kind, I suspect. Resin. Resin comes from liquid resin only, and that needs resin 1 technology, okay. And that comes from raw bioresin, various gases. What's going to be the easiest? Yeah, temperate tree arboretum. That's going to be a tree farm. Because raw bioresin comes from temperate tree seeds, soil, and water. And of course, we get trees out of that as well. So, yeah, temperate tree arboretum is probably where we need to go. Let's just see if we can search for that. Tree arboretum. Yeah, you can see in here, there's seed generators. And we're going to need 50 red science for that. But there's our recipes for trees and stuff like that. So we're going to just start that, well, resume it. I already had it going. And that's going to be going in the background while we think about other things. So from here, one thing I am noticing is, yes, that lack of carbon. So what I'm going to do is probably set up another algae farm. And I'll do that off camera, but we'll set it up in another building if possible. Do I have enough iron for that? I need a couple of hundred more iron. Well, maybe 150, 180 more iron if I want to do that. And that's going to be short on carbon. I'm going to need to have a short off-camera period here while I generate more iron. Now, I started to build this second building, just like the first one, and then I had a bit of a thought. No. Okay? The reason why I thought no is that basically we should have a better way of actually creating algae right now. And that is going to need a little bit of a change to this, and we can't fit as many algae plants in here because of it, but more importantly, it should get us more algae out. In fact, double out for each plant, that is. So I'm just going to cut everything else off here for the moment, and let's just rebuild this. Because I'm going to first of all need to basically get 2 things in here. One is I'm going to need to get some stone in here. That's the crushed stone, that is. And you can see, quite conveniently, I have crushed stone available here. So we're just going to send that underground to there. And then we're going to send it over this way. And we'll do the same thing here. We're just going to go underground once I build an underground, couple of underground belts. Okay, and we'll do the same thing all the way down here. And in to this top node. I'm going to need a couple more pieces of belt, but you get the idea. Okay. So now I should have water and crushed stone in here. And I do. Now combining both of those, we're able to make mineralized water, which is one of the 2 ingredients we're going to need. Mineralized water, there's a few different ways of getting it, but cheapest and easiest. Chemical plant, mineralized water coming from crushed stone and water. We've made that before, if you remember. I'm going to need another way of actually storing this in case there's any overflow, but I do remind me if I forget to do that. But regardless, chemical plant, we should be able to basically make one of those. That's going to get starting to build it handcrafted. And how, well, there's not much of this crushed stone coming in for the moment. I've got plenty in my inventory. I keep turning it into sand, but that's fine. So anything excess here will come down here. And we're going to get more algae, then that should let us have more room in here because we're going to send out the output to the left, not to the right this time. And I'm not even going to have any charcoal. I'm going to have it just be the carbon. So I don't want this intermediate sort of temporary belt that sometimes happens here to feed all of our power. So yeah, in fact, our power when it's actually working. Yeah, I need more power, which means I need more carbon. So the chemical plant should be done, or very close to being done. And then we need to plan out some algae farms. So from this, we're going to get the mineralized water. The other component we're going to need is going to be carbon dioxide. Now, we haven't really produced carbon dioxide right now. However, you can make it a bunch of different ways. One is by burning charcoal every 2 seconds. We can get more of it by basically getting rid of some wood pellets. So remember, we're getting the wood pellets from the from our algae in the first place. So as long as we make sure we prioritize sending wood pellets to wherever we're making carbon dioxide, then we can feed this back around. So if we just grab our algae farm for a second, and let me just put it, I'm going to put it somewhere temporary. I'm just going to put a couple here. And you'll see there's this second recipe, mineralized water and carbon dioxide. So if you look at it here, we'll need to feed this in a couple of different ways. Mineralized water, we can feed to the top or the bottom, and when we'll align the gas line to the opposite side, obviously. And then that will then get us green algae. So we need to then get that chemical plant, which hopefully has now made. That's chemical furnace. Chemical plant, where are you in my inventory? Chemical plants. Chemical plant. Why? Why isn't the one highlighted? Did I just make a chemical furnace? I really hope I didn't. I probably did. I'm blind. Never mind. Back in a second. As I was saying, chemical plant, and we can just feed those both in. It shouldn't really much matter here, so we can probably feed in the water. Probably put it here, and then we'll get the mineralized water. Yep. And of course, the water's going to feed into the left side. The reason why I've just left one space there is just in case we need more of these, I'll have an extra space. We may have to rework that later, but it'll do for now. And let's get a few more pieces of belt. I can probably move this up, can I? Yeah, why don't I just move this up? The output's going to be here, so we can move that all the way to the top. Yeah, let's do that. Where's the chemical plant? This can go here. Okay, and then the input water line can go this way. Okay, mineralized water. And then like this. Okay, so our mineralized water will come out here and be going sort of this direction, which means I can place these at any point from that point outwards. So let's just grab a couple of our algae plants and let's see whether this fits in a nice sort of fashion. So 1 there, 2, 3. We're only going to get 3, but remember this is going to be doing the work of 6. So yeah, the extra is going to be appreciated. And then we'll just, connect this up with regular pipe. Shouldn't need anything else up there. Choose this recipe. Okay, and that's at one of our 2 inputs. Second input needs to be carbon dioxide. So we're going to have to probably grab some green algae, which I keep plenty of in boxes in the other one. I had a box over here somewhere. Yeah, we can just grab a few stacks of that. Because we're going to basically resurrect this line here of stuff, assembling machines. And then this one here, wood pellets. So I'm going to need at least 5 assembling machines, but instead I'm also going to then need some way of producing the carbon dioxide. So that's probably going to be another chemical plant. So I will make one of those, some more assembling machines, and we'll get this on the road. Again, we're going to rearrange this later, but we'll just have it putting down somewhere for now. This is going to be our chemical plant to produce the carbon dioxide. So we're going to need some of our output down here. So I'm probably going to build it down here somewhere, and we'll have that running there. So we want carbon dioxide. Is that carbon dioxide? That's the 50 recipe. I probably want the 70 recipe, which means I'm going to need wood pellets to put in here. And then what I'm going to do is probably have some of our assembly machines, which I should have somewhere. Yep, there we go. I'm going to build this a few away, something like that. Okay, and then again, probably a few away yet again, some of these machines. And let's just have these making wood pellets. Yes, I think that'll do. And then these ones are going to be converting into wood pellets in the first place. Hang on. So there's fiber, I should say. But I'm going to need to make that from green algae. Okay, and then of course I do have some green algae. Off they go. We'll need to feed this in somehow, so maybe we'll have a belt coming down this side, something like that. Or even on this output line. Doesn't matter because we can compact things quite a lot here by using underground belts. If we want to, not sure whether we want to yet, but yeah, we can. Let's just put the output in for now, and I'll figure it all out later as far as a neat setup is concerned. And then something like this, same as we got before in the other building, sort of. Okay, and then just feed out onto here. These are going to make wood pellets, and we're going to feed outwards from there. What are we going to feed these? I'm going to need to move this across one, I think. Get a chemical plant down. Are we going to have space? I can always reroute it later. There we go. So I'm going to just run this by here. We could just put a splitter in as well to filter it like this, but I'm going to give it the first opportunity to have the wood pellets before it heads out to wherever we're going to produce the next thing, the wooden bricks. There we go. Yeah. So that's going to be the next thing. So this is going to start producing once I send these out, and that's all it needs: wood pellets. Okay, and that should fill up and stop, and once it's taken its load, that should be everything else to go. So we've then got a situation where we need to get something to here, and I'm not sure we're going to need this water. We're going to need it to generate steam, this line here, so I can't really just get rid of that for now. So I'm going to have to just leave that in, but I can put another line here and then just connect this up for now. There we go. So if I then connect this end, it should have everything ready to produce. Carbon dioxide, carbon dioxide, carbon dioxide. Oh, but I need to connect the corners. There it goes. So they're all on, and they should be producing more coming out the other side. As before then, we just need a belt with some inserters. Okay, and then that will start producing the stuff that we're going to consume down here. So these are going to need, well, in fact, why don't we just send it the other way for now? And while we're at it, let's get some light on the subject. Hopefully that's a bit clearer for all of you. There we go. Much brighter. Now, we're going to send the battle down and around, so we have space for 3 more of these. So by getting to 6 of these, we're going to end up with 12 of the old ones. So that's pretty much what's in that entire factory. And then, of course, we're going to upgrade these to Mark IIs, which should be even better. So I'm going to make some more belt now. I need to go and get some more iron, clearly. Set all this up to basically hook up, and then we're going to have the output here just as we've done before, except that instead of producing charcoal at all, it's just going to go like this. It's going to go, need to have a boiler. That's where the water line comes in. That's going to feed into another chemical plant, and then we're going to feed carbon again from everywhere else. So we need to just hook all that up together. Because I've done that before, I'm going to do that off camera, and I'll bring you back probably for a little bit of neat and tidying, and we should be finished. And here it is. Now the important thing about this entire factory is that, well, it's limited by our supply of crushed stone. And we don't have a lot of crushed stone right now, so yeah, that's going to be a problem at some point, but for now it's basically a boost factory that will provide carbon to our power system. Okay, and right now it is working. It's just not working as well as the other one yet because you know, crushed stone and stuff like that. And you can see here these are already running at full speed, so we can add more here if we want to get more of this input algae. Remember, we're producing quite a lot for this, and that's all going out here, being converted into carbon dioxide. This is getting turned into wood bricks, going through a furnace and then going back around. And of course here the boiler is taking that before it leaves. It's taking its own supply of carbon, so that should all be self-feeding, and anything that comes out of here is pretty much bonus. So yeah, that's good. But you can see our crushed stone supply is quite small because it's coming out of here. So what can we do about crushed stone? Is there any other good way of actually producing it, I wonder? Crushed stone, it's going to be from slag, so anywhere we're producing slag I would imagine is going to be fine. Crushed stone, so 1 slag produces 2 crushed stone, fine. Any of the ores will produce crushed stone, that's good too. Yeah. And is there anything else, or is it just the ores and slag? It's just the ores and slag. So we have slag further up here, and I've got plenty of it. Of course, we can convert that into crushed stone as well and get that running. We can either send that into the factory below, or we can just convert it into crushed stone first. I think I'm going to convert it into crushed stone first because we can merge it in somewhere down here. So if I have that running, let's just remove this for now, and this and this and all of that. And you get the idea. We can just feed in something right about here. Just convert one thing into the other pretty much. That will do right there. Okay, and then we'll need to get a power pole, but you get the idea. We just need crushed. Crushed? No? Is it not in? What recipe is that in then? Where's my slag recipe? There it is. Oh, it's just in a crusher. My mistake. As you might imagine. Crusher's kind of handy for crushing stone and things. Anyway. That's going to just get chosen there, and then that will just feed in slag. So we'll just, instead of doing this, we'll just send some belt underground or something like that. For now, I've got plenty in my inventory. I can start it off, and just probably just move that over there, and that will work. There we go. So crushed stone going in, and that will all get filtered already on the same line, and we don't have to do anything else other than feed in from this line up here. So yeah, good so far. Now up here, while we're getting the Steam Engine 2 research, which hopefully should give us more power for this, well, hopefully the same with the same input. I've already got the boiler version 2 researched, so we'll get that going next. I'm just going to get an extra lab up here just to speed things up a little bit. Where's my lab gone? I'm sure I built one in my inventory somewhere. And I'm blind again. Why can't I see the lab? I didn't build something else by accident by any chance? Ah, there it is. Yep, I am just blind. Good. Good to know that's not any different than normal. And I'm just going to put them up here. And we'll get them connected up with some inserters, etc. and some power poles. And that should improve things a little bit. And while that's going and researching, we've got one more thing I can actually mention here in that we can now access metal mixing furnaces. This is a slight simplification of this whole thing in that we don't have to have these splitters in here. The metal mixing furnaces will only take whatever you choose, so we can just get rid of a lot of this, I think. So why don't we just get rid of it, and let's just get rid of you and all of you. We'll need to sort some other things out, but this just means I can have one input line. And let's just get rid of all of those. Yeah, this is looking nice. I'm not sure I want to get rid of those boxes because they're usually full. Oh, not too bad. Okay, cool. So we've got everything there, and that's ready. So I'm just going to take out these poles. And what did I remove? What? What did I remove? The power pole that is still connected. It must be not connected down here. Yes. Fine. There we go. As before. After it's separated by this filter, essentially, and we are going to be limited with that second booster factory by our supply of slag now that our crushed stone is basically gone, we're going to basically build metal mixing furnaces. Now, we're going to be replacing these fairly soon with angel smelting, and that is a lot nicer, but for this, I'm just going to leave them here. And we can basically say, I just want these first two to process iron and the second two to process basically copper. I'm going to put them up here, actually. Okay. They'll still need some input as far as, you know, burnable stuff. We're not going to get to anything else there yet. We need to get to blast furnaces, which will also need carbon, I imagine. But we can then select in here the specific recipe. In this case, iron plate from crushed sapphirite or from iron ore. We will get more, obviously, from iron ore. So let's get that. And this one is going to be the same from copper. And you get the idea there. They can just basically feed on this belt. Do we actually want to do that, though? Possibly. Yeah. They need to make sure that if we do this, we need to have the supply fed fast enough. We need to have... yeah, we need to be basically processing it faster than it comes in on this belt. Otherwise, it can jam up at the end. That's the only thing I've got to say about it, and that's exactly what's going to happen here, because we don't have any burnable fuels in there at the moment. So if I just do this, you get the idea. And we can, I guess, just put that together, and that will sort of solve it. Maybe I should put the filters back. It's fine for the moment, though, and I'm going to just basically feed those... well, we can feed them direct. Do I want to feed them direct? Or do I want to feed them out? Good question. We need to move everything else here if I don't. Or we have our underground belt set up again. Which is fine-ish. I'll just feed them the opposite way. Yeah. Okay. So I'll just put then something going that way, something going that way, etc. And no, that's not going to. That needs to be one further away. I'm being silly. There we go. So each of them can feed onto their own line, and we'll get them the other one going that way. There we go. And we just have to change the pickup location. Same there. Same here, and we'll end up with as before. There we go. And if these things don't need it, then I guess we're going to just box this up, because, hey, I'm going to want to pick up our ores occasionally. I'm running out of inserters, but let's just get that powered up. And another inserter. And that should be done. There we go. So yeah, that's a little bit neater. Again, it should just pick up whatever capacity we have on here, unless this completely fills up and then we're in trouble. But let's not worry about that just for now. I need to actually sort this out later when we get to angel smelting. But for now, we're going to need some basically way of feeding power, basically feeding charcoal into it or carbon into it. Our charcoal supply is looking quite healthy for our charcoal filters. And at the moment, this is looking okay as far as these is concerned. But why is that? Is that going to be my my wind power that's fluctuating? Let's look over 10 minutes over here. Yeah, wind is fluctuating a little bit. It's just on its lowest. Well, not quite lowest. The lowest is down there, 1.2, 1.5. And there's our input line. So I really want this steam engine 2. What do we actually need for the steam engine 2 recipe? Steam engine 2. Steel. And an original steam engine. Steel, steel, steel. Okay. I have 100 steel. Maybe that's enough for a few. Do I have a boiler 2? I think I already put a boiler 2 down. Is it down here? Boiler 2? Did I put it indoors somewhere? I thought I'd made a boiler 2 already. Yeah, I put it in here. Oh, I'm probably going to need another boiler. Let me just make a regular boiler. We're going to actually replace that. And I'm going to have the boiler 2 outdoors, not indoors. There we go. Okay, that should be fine. And then we're going to replace the boiler 2 as soon as I start getting a steam engine. And we'll see how that goes from there. Now, of course, we can produce more slag really quite easily if we had the spare power. We have this process here, the electrolyzers. They just produce slag, which currently is being fed into our slag slurry, which is being used up as quickly as we can actually produce it. So we're going to need more of these buildings with electrolyzers, but remember that these are enormously power hungry. They're 310 kilowatts each, and that's quite a lot, but they will produce a huge amount of slag. So if we want to produce basically more carbon by this method, we may want to hook another building onto it and have the slag fed here first, and then if it's not consumed here, well, by crushed stone that is, if it's not consumed here, then we feed it into another factory. That's going to have to wait until I get a little bit more iron, but that's perhaps an extra way of actually dealing with this. And the other way, the good thing about that is that we will get lots of excess crushed stone, because if we can make this faster than this, these can actually supply it to our algae farms, then we can use all of the excess to make extra sand and hence extra land. So that will be a good extension to this. So, yep, that's probably what I'm going to be doing next, I think, just to expand on the whole thing, because this slag is quite slow. Now, you'll notice over here, our mineral sludge is still okay. We can perhaps use a little bit more of it. You see, all 4 of it is going towards basically iron, but with a little bit of copper along the way. And I'm running out of fuel up there again. Do I have any fuel in my inventory? I've got a little bit. So we can use some extra to get that lead and tin. Remember, we made some tin before. We are going to need lead, and I do have crystallizers, so that is useful. And I'm normally building a pair of these together with a crusher underneath, so why don't we just put those in the same place? Okay, and then we can choose what we want here. So this is bombonium, the stuff we had before, and then we're going to have rubyite, which is what I'm going to choose now. So I just want to double check what it is. I think this is actually the lead recipe, but yeah, we'll see very quickly. Let's just get this connected up. Okay, and some copper. Whoops, some copper pipe. There we go. All that's needed now is some power, which we can get the same way we normally do. Okay, and you're going to produce rubyites, or rubite, I should say, not rubyite. Be an extra I in there. We can just feed this straight into here, where we just say basically that's going to crush everything. Should be being fed in right now. Yep, and rubyite crushing produces, I should might imagine, crushed rubyite, which we can then feed around just as we've done here, except that I want to feed create a filter, I think. And now we're going to filter the output priority to the right, filter crushed stone. Get more of it. And then everything else will go left. And this is going to be where I basically smelt stuff. And because there's only one product coming out of here, well, in fact, hang on. We're going to feed it through an ore sorting facility, aren't we? Yeah, I'm going to need to filter that some other way. Well, we can also send it back on itself and around. Because I can get an ore sorter up here, ore sorting facility, and let's just put you there. We can choose rubite, and that will get us slag, it will get us lead, and it will get us nickel. Lead is the important one here for solder. Our steam engine 2's finished, good, and can I actually make one? Steam engine 2, I can, I'm going to make 2 of them, in fact. And I probably want a boiler 2 as well. In fact, no. I already have one boiler 2. I don't need 2 for here. I just want 1. And let's see what happens down here. So we have... what are we currently peaking at, roughly? Sort of 6.5 million, thereabouts. In fact, no, hang on. We can just picture that more exactly. Yes, so about 6 at the moment. And let's get this in place. So steam engine 2. Boiler 2, so let's put a boiler 2, let's say, on this last one. Okay, and then 2 steam engine 2s, and let's see if that's any better. Okay, now it's up to 8. I would say that's better. Oh, hang on. Yeah, it's the demand, if you like, is just dropped down there. What has actually jumped up? It's the steam engine 2, so we can see exactly what it's producing by comparison to everything else. Obviously we're down to 6 steam engine 1s, and this is going to need It's going to need more fuel. That is not supplying fuel fast enough for this thing. Let's put 2 burner inserters there. And yeah, are you even fast enough to supply fuel now? Just about. Just about. And that hopefully is going to supply enough power. They should regulate themselves. Yeah, 2.4 megawatts for 2 of them versus 3.5 for 6. We're going up to steam engine Mark IIs. That's just happening. So steam engine Mark IIs, I'm going to build another couple and another boiler 2, and then we'll get some more boiler 2, and then we're going to get some more steel on the go, which I need to go and make at the top of the whole thing. We'd have to say 7 steel plates, but we do have it rather easily here. All we need to do is feed in some more iron. So hey, there's some more iron, and we'll get some more steel out of it, and 247 more iron. So that can be produced. I'll produce more steel. That gets another 100 steel if I remember rightly. And you can see here we're not quite keeping up with the copper, because the copper has nowhere to go because I've not put an inserter up here. I are stupid. Yes. Anyway, that'll do it for today's episode. We've made a few changes. We've gone up to steel, and we're going to go steel-based steam engines. That's hard to actually say. We've got an improved version of our algae farm going. You could do the original version. That doesn't need any kind of input whatsoever apart from water. I think. Is it water? Yeah, it's just literally water. So if you want to do another one of those, that's possible as well. That will make sure that you have enough of this. However, you can see this is backing up now, so I'm quite happy about that. And now that we have an extra boiler here and an extra couple of steam engines, that should be even slower. And then our burner inserter here should make sure this is fed fast enough. And now let's just check the power. Everything is certainly slowing down, which is usually a good sign as long as you have satisfaction. And then that makes sure that you basically aren't consuming all the resources quite as much. So steam engine Mark IIs are pretty happy, pretty good with me. If you enjoyed the episode, give it a thumbs up. Feel free to subscribe. Press on the like button, thumbs up, etc. if you wanted to. More importantly, leave comments down below for fellow players, and we'll get through that. Here I do need to feed in charcoal somehow. It's a question for another day, but that is what I need to do. Otherwise, as always, guys, thanks a lot for watching.